in a Christian household, and I was always taught from a young age how much Jesus loved me. Growing up, I was always the girl who was completely fearless, who felt like she could do anything. That was until around my 8th grade year when everything changed. One night at practice, I was going for a pass, and I ended up tripping and slamming my head into the gym floor. At the time, I didn't know exactly how bad it was until around the next day when I started feeling the symptoms of it. It turned really bad really fast, and my body didn't know how to react to it. So I was kind of in and out of the hospital for 6 months, in and out of the neurologist, trying to figure everything out, trying to figure out how badly my brain was hit. When I got the concussion, I knew something was wrong. I think my body truly didn't know how to act with it though. It was always going until all of a sudden I had to stop everything I was doing. I had to be in a dark room all the time. I couldn't watch TV or listen to music or do anything that could possibly make my brain think. So my body started becoming overwhelmed because of that. That's when I got diagnosed with anxiety and depression. I had just gotten out of concussion protocol. I was doing great. And before I knew it, it started consuming my mind just about getting this feeling and not knowing exactly what to do with it. I think for a while, I didn't know what it was like not to feel sad all the time. And I didn't know what it was like to go a day without a panic attack. So I would make room for it, and I would prepare for it, and it ended up turning into the most toxic relationship that I would ever have. It was always sitting down next to me, waiting. My relationship with Jesus was always my parents' relationship, and it was never my own. I would go to church because they made me to. I would read my Bible because they made me to, and it was never something that I craved to do, and it was never something that I found so much joy in. And I think through the concussion, through the anxiety, through the depression, that made me angry at God because he was supposed to be such a good and loving God, but how could a loving God sit there and watch me fall under the own pressure of my own mind? I would feel like I'm gonna pass out, like I'm gonna die in this moment, like this is it for me. Just trying to get away from the war that was going on inside my head. I think that was when my hope started going away. So my sophomore year was the first time that I attended the movement. I was super anxious. I didn't know what to expect. I truly didn't want to get to know Jesus better. I saw him now as being someone who put me through so much pain. I saw him as being someone who didn't love me anymore. When I first came that night, I was sitting in worship, and I remember the worship leader singing a song, and the lyrics were, "All my dreams and all my plans, I trust in you." And at that moment, something changed in my heart. I knew that I couldn't live like this anymore. I knew that the pain and the hurt that I was dealing with couldn't be something that was in my life anymore because Jesus had better plans for me. And at that moment, that's when I knew I couldn't do it by myself. Knowing that I serve a God who is able to provide a peace that I couldn't provide for myself was something that was so real and so true for me. After that, I never looked back, and I never wanted to. I'm telling my story because I want people to know that it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay there. That there's help out there, and that there's people who are dealing with the same things that you're dealing with. I want people to know that Jesus is the only thing that's going to be able to truly and completely heal you. There's medication, which is great, and there's therapists, which is great, and there's people around you who love you and support you, but the one source is Jesus, and that's something that I've seen personally in my life of just being able to step outside of my door every day and still feel the torment and still feel the pain, but knowing that the Lord is my joy and that he's my strength. It doesn't have to be my own strength, but it comes completely from him. That's what gets me through my day. That's what's keeps me going, and that's why I'm telling my story.